I'm going to ask you some questions about starting college. Were you nervous to come to college?
I was actually excited, like, the whole summer. I was, like, thinking about college and, like, how fun it's going to be. But then, like, moving in, I actually knew my roommate really well, so that was good. But, like, I was kind of getting scared a little bit, and I didn't want to say goodbye to my parents, and I had to kind of hold back the tears. But, like, it turned out to be good, and I love college. So
What were you scared of?
I don't know, I think independence. I mean, I have been kind of babied my whole life. I'm the youngest of 3 and the only girl. So, I think just not having my mom there and my dad there is a little bit scary because they've been there my whole life.
Yeah, for sure. That's understandable.
I'm scared.
Well, did you know you always wanted to come to UGA?
Yeah, pretty much since I was a young girl. My parents were from South Africa, so they didn't really go to that whole, like, American college thing.
Mm.
But my eldest brother, he went here, and then my other brother went here, and so, like, this is, like, the only college I've ever known. So I definitely this was definitely my top choice.
So you've always wanted to be a Bulldog.
For sure.
Well, how did you find out that you were coming here?
It's a good story, actually. I was studying abroad in Israel my senior year of high school. It was very fun. And we actually were about to go to the Army the next day just for a week. And so we got late wake up that day. And it was like 9 o'clock wake up instead of 7 o'clock. And at about 7 o'clock I woke up and I looked at my phone. And I had 14 missed calls from my mom. And I was freaking out because why would she call me 14 times? So I figured that obviously something was wrong. And so I put the phone on vibrate and I put it, like, on my hand, and I went back to sleep. And she called me right back, and I picked up the phone, and I was like, Mom, like, what's wrong? Why'd you call? And she's like, and I had roommates at that time, so I couldn't, like, speak loudly, so I was, like, freaking out, and she's like, can you go outside? I need to talk to you. So I was, like, freaking out. I was, like, holding back my tears, because obviously something was wrong.
Right.
And I hear her calling my dad to pick up the phone, and so, like, I figure, oh, she can't tell me the bad news. I'm thinking that, like, my dog died, who I'm, like, obsessed with, so I'm, like, freaking out. I'm crying, and I don't know what's happening. Aww. And my dad comes on the phone, and he's like, you're a Bulldog. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, what happened to my dog? And he goes, no, you are a Bulldog. And, like, finally it hit me that, like, they had checked in and I had gotten in. It was actually, like, 3 o'clock their time, but they couldn't go to bed until they had told me. And I was freaking out, but, like, crying at the same time because I was, like, nervous that something had happened or that, like, someone died or something.
It had to be just,
it was
like,
bittersweet.
A roller coaster.
It was.
Yeah.
So that was my story.
That sounds really exciting, but you were probably just...
I was really, like, emotional, I guess.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to think, but...
Well, that's something you won't forget.
For sure.
Well, what do you think the biggest change has been since you've been here?
It's definitely, like, my independence. I guess at home, like I said, I'm kind of, like, babied, so, like, when I get in the car, I need to tell my mom. I need to call her and be like, I'm going here. And then when I get there, I need to say, I'm here. But, like, when I'm here, I can get in my car and not have to, like, tell her that I'm here, or I can go out at 12 o'clock at night and she doesn't have to know. So it's definitely, like, a change, more so, like, independence for me.
And, like, does that overflow into your study habits?
Definitely. I think that, I guess when I was in high school, like, I would come home and I would do work for a little bit and I would kind of, like, hang out at the house. But now it's more like I come home and then I go out to a friend's apartment or I have other things to do and I'm not, like, told you need to sit down and study. So I guess it's a little bit harder to sit down and study now for me.
But you're able to get it together.
I mean, now I've learned that I need to study and I need to keep up with my studies. I think freshman year was a little bit rocky, but I ended up doing well. But I think it was a big change to have to learn that from high school.
Yeah, it's a lot. The newfound freedom
is a big change.
You have to learn to balance it. That's for sure. Yeah. Well, what has been your favorite and least favorite things about college?
Okay, my least favorite thing, I guess, has to be the classes. I came from, like, a really small private school, and so, like, we knew the teachers. We had, like, no more than 15 kids, and, like, now I'm put into, like, a 300-person class, so it's kind of hard to adjust to that, but I think I'm getting there, and I'm learning to, like, have to go introduce myself to the teacher, but know that, like, he's not going to know who I am and stuff like that. But my favorite thing is definitely, I think, like, the social aspect, because I went to such a small school. There's 50 kids in my grade, so, like, you know those 50 kids, but, like, here, now that I'm, like, in a sorority, I know, like, hundreds of people, and I have, like, the opportunity to do much more activities.
And you're taking advantage of those?
Definitely, like, getting involved on campus and, like, relay, and I volunteer at the Boys and Girls Club, and, like, I would never have done that in high school, because I would never have, like, known about that or had the opportunity.
So it's opened you up to a lot of
Definitely,
That's good.
Learned a lot.
That's good. Well, do you have, like, a favorite memory and a worst memory that sticks out?
I guess just like the friendships that I've gotten are definitely like good memories that I have, like going out with my friends and just like talking at night or like getting together and like watching a movie.
Right.
I guess my worst memories are just not doing well on a test. I guess everyone does that.
Yeah.
Everyone goes through
Everyone's
that.
been there.
But I guess it teaches you to study better and get better study habits.
Yeah.
Definitely are important.
So you learn from the good and the bad.
Definitely.
That's really good.
Yeah. But it's good to have a balance.
That's for sure. Yeah. Well, what do you think college has helped you learn about yourself and about others?
I guess before I could never imagine myself like being on my own or like just having like my own life away from like my family because I'm really close to them. But I guess it's just taught me like a lot about independence and like not having to rely on others as much. And like if I need to get something, like I can do it. Or like if I need to study, I don't have to be there and like ask my mom like, hey, test me on this. Like I can do it myself. So like it's definitely taught me for the future that like when I get to my job, like I will be able to do it on my own, and that helps me a lot.
Good.
Now that I have my independence now.
What have you learned about other people?
I've learned a lot about other people because I was in my little bubble in
Right.
Atlanta. I didn't really break out of that bubble, and so like here I've met so many other people. So like just different personalities and like who I can get along with and like who I need to stay away from, and especially like living in such a small like sorority house, we are in like such close quarters that I like know now like my boundaries and like not to like overstep that or like what things I can say and what things I can't, like who I work best with and who I butt heads with maybe. So it's definitely a good thing to learn.
Yeah, you mentioned like a roommate situation. How is this?
I've actually been really fortunate for roommates. My freshman year I had a really close roommate. I had a really close roommate that I knew from my synagogue, and we had, like, a good mutual friend, and so she hooked us up together, and it worked out really well. Like, we're very similar, like, quiet people. We don't, we never got in a fight or anything.
Wow, you're lucky.
I know, yeah, nothing ever, like, bothered us. Like, we were just very compatible for each other.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, this year I went, like, a very different route. Like, she's a lot more, like high-strung, like, strong-headed, and so I thought that maybe wouldn't work, but it's actually worked really well, I think, because I'm just, like, very timid, so, like, I don't let things bother me, and I don't like to get in fights or anything, so, like, it's actually worked out really well.
Good.
And I hope next year's plan will work out. We're kind of getting a group together to live, so, like, I've been really lucky so far, and I do see how it can not work out sometimes, but I think I've been really lucky because, like, I can just kind of not get in fights, and that helps a lot.
Yeah. If you need to, though, you know how to stand your ground.
Definitely. That's what actually the biggest thing I've learned this year, because my roommate is more intimidating this year, and so she can try to like persuade me because she knows that I don't hold my ground sometimes, but this year I've definitely learned how to like hold my ground and like say my opinion if I need to.
Yeah, I've been in that position.
Yeah, so it's definitely taught me a lot, just this 1 year having a different roommate.
Yeah.
But it's worked out, so it's really good.
Yeah, do you talk to your parents about these kind of things?
Yeah, I talk to my mom about everything. I call her, people laugh, but I talk to her every single day.
Yeah.
I mean, it initially wasn't by choice. She's like, hey, you have to talk to me every day, but like honestly, like I talk to her like 3 times a day because like a problem comes up and like I call her about it. Like it just like gets it off my chest. I think like a rooming situation just came up. Like the first thing I did was like call her. I just like needed to get it off my chest. So like I talk to my mom about that a lot. And then my dad, I always like fill in with all this stuff. Like I don't mind telling them what's going on in my life because they want to be a part of it.
They want to stay
definitely in
the loop.
For sure.
That's
so
really good. A lot of people don't have that.
Yeah, no, they're very
they want to
supportive.
keep up like that.
You know, they're very supportive, and like if I have a situation, she's like good at dealing with things. So
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Good mommy.
How often do you see them?
I try to go home at least once a month or see them once a month. I just like going home and like being in my house and comfortable and just like kind of like taking a break from the whole college, like studying and having to be in such close quarters with everyone and like worrying about like what you're gonna do that night.
Right.
So I kind of just like being in my own house, cuddling up with my dog, just like it's just comfortable there. So I try to go home or try to get them to come here at least once a month.
That's great. Do they bring your dog?
Yeah. Oh, I make them bring my dog if they come up for the day, but it's mostly me going home. But like the other day we had Daddy-Daughter Day, and my mom wanted to come, but she had already prearranged something with my cousins.
Oh, okay.
But she actually just drove up for dinner, so she drove up like an hour and a half just to come to dinner because she felt bad that she couldn't come during the day and didn't want to think that she chose my cousins over coming to spend time with me, and of course I understand, like, she had a pre-arrangements with them, but, like, she's very good at that kind of thing, and, like, I guess she doesn't like staying away from me for too long either.
Yeah.
So, like, she'll just come up for, like, an hour or two and then go back home.
That has to feel good.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
She likes coming here.
Well, do you ever get homesick?
I wouldn't say homesick. I think I get, I guess, worn out here maybe sometimes, just, like, having to, like, deal with, like, what am I doing that night, or having to, like, find a quiet place to study or whatever. So I think I like just going home to get a break, but I don't think I get, like, homesick, like I'm crying to go home. I think I just like the comfort of home more than the idea of sitting in a closed small room with 10 people. So
it's good to switch it up every once in a while.
Yeah, I definitely need to go home sometimes.
Well, it was very nice talking to you.
Yes, thank you. Good job.